Hello, I'm Jacqueline Holstead, and you are listening to On Point Conversations. In this podcast series, we share creative marketing, content, and branding strategies that help your business successfully navigate the new normal marketing environment. Today in my podcast, we're going to talk about content marketing. And you've probably read about content marketing almost ad nauseum. I know I have too. But I still find that my clients don't always have a clear understanding of what I mean by content marketing. And they might even hire people that are copywriters, but they're really not taking into account content marketing as it goes together. It's not just copywriting, it includes marketing. So we want to talk today about content marketing in the aspect of building your business by building your audience. Because you definitely want something that is building your business, and the way it'll build your business is by building your audience. So content marketing is not really just about creating content that's totally about your product and service. Essence and the value of content marketing comes by sharing valuable free content as seen by your audience. So number one, it has to be valuable. 2, you want it to be free content. 3, you're interweaving in a marketing aspect, but not in a hard sell aspect, your product or service. 4, you want to know where your audience is, and now you're going to talk to your audience. You're not going to talk at them, but you're going to talk with them. So the goal really is to attract and then convert those prospective buyers into actual customers. Because again, if you're just attracting a lot of followers or a lot of likes and you're not really converting them to buyers and they're not becoming actual customers, you're really wasting your time, resources, and money. And then what you really want is you want those people to become repeat buyers. They find a value in your offerings and they share their experience with others. And the type of content is closely related to what you sell. So in other words, you're not going to, I was in a meeting the other day and a dentist was saying, well, cats get a lot of exposure. So maybe we should put cats in our advertising on our social media so we get more exposure. Well, of course, that content isn't closely related to what they sell or what they market, unless they were a vet, but they're not a vet. They are for humans. So in other words, you're wanting to educate people so they know, like, and trust you enough to do business with you. So if you're interested in marketing your business online, which I assume most people are, and I do want to say too that content marketing isn't just related to digital or online marketing. I'll talk to you a little bit about that as I go along here, but there are also things like content marketing related to maybe your unique business card, a white paper, direct mail, which is becoming even more popular and more people are doing it, especially in local areas. So what you want to do is you want to provide valuable information that helps people make a purchasing decision. And you want them to be able to value that content because Google is going to rank well for you in the search results if those people can find your business. And they find your business and your content is really good and they stay there and they read your content. The other thing is that you want to spread your content, of course, via social networks. You're going to generate some really powerful word-of-mouth exposure. That's really what you want to do. You also want to get comments from your audience. So this is, again, social. Social media means it's socially, you're interacting. I see so many times where there's a question online and nobody's answering it from the company. Well, that's not social. That's simply talking at me, and that doesn't leave a good impression. So you do need to make sure that whatever social media networks you are involved in, and you're answering their questions. So I know that we know this, but I really want to talk about how content marketing actually means business for you. So there are a lot of ways to work with content. There's blogging, I'm just going to video tutorials, email, newsletters, white papers, free reports, and not all of it, as I said before, is not digital or online. You've got things like direct mail, white papers. And yet there's a lot of times when my clients and I know people are confused about the entire concept. So we know that content drives the internet, and consumers are looking for information that solves a problem. They're not looking for an immediate sales pitch, because there has to be a certain trust, credibility, and authority that your content marketing creates, which is going to knock down sales resistance. And all while really providing some baseline information of the benefits of your product or service. So individuals or businesses that are having the most success online tend to take an approach that involves a very high ratio of valuable content that really seemingly has no sales agenda. It's mixed with periodic promotional messages, but it is not totally like that, and people don't perceive it that way. There is a knitter. I'm a knitter, and there's a knitter that I follow, a designer. Her name's Andrea Mowry, and every Friday she does a video that it's called I'll Knit If I Want To, and she answers questions from her subscribers on her list, people writing questions, and she answers them randomly. So they're not really associated to one topic. They're kind of all over the board. Some of them apply to me, some of them don't, but I find that it's very interesting, and I log in every Friday to her video, even though on Mondays or Tuesdays she sends out a newsletter where she actually has the video in too, and so you can access it that way. But I find it very engaging. She also includes links, like she will wear one of her shawls or one of her sweaters that she has knit, and then she talks about that, and she'll put a link in to where that pattern can be, what yarn that is. And then she'll also respond to questions about those particular patterns. And then at the end, she has a little area where she even talks about she might include a recipe. She might include a book that she's reading. She might include even products that she's buying. So it's a very engaging way of doing it, and she's engaging with her audience, and she has a very large following. So let's go back to this awesomeness. There's another report that came out, because one of the things you can also do is put together some really special report, really impactful information, and exchange it for your customers or your potential customers' email address and their permission to educate you further about your product or service. So they're letting you talk to them. And you do want to get their permission. You don't want to have anything referred to as spam or because they'll just put it in junk mail, and you won't have a good reputation by doing that. So there's a group that I work with that's an art group. They just put out a report, probably about a year ago now, but the report on the impact of COVID on the art world. Very, very good report. Now, they are in a fundraising mode, but they didn't even refer to it in their report. But they asked people to give their email address and also permission to talk to them further about their product or service. So content that we're talking about is really designed to get the reader to take a specific action. And sometimes that's making a purchase. Sometimes it's confirming an email opt-in. Sometimes it's calling for more information. Sometimes it's going into the store to check on the merchandise. So content marketing is many things in many areas, but there is a design and a purpose for it. Now, there are really 3 essentials I want to leave you with today on content marketing so that you can think of this in this way. You want to give your readers a treat. For example, let's say that you have a friend and they're having a birthday, and you take that friend a birthday gift. Well, when that friend opens the birthday gift, you want them to say, "Whoa! This is really what I wanted," or "I love this. This is just what I needed. This is wonderful." That's giving them a treat. That's what you want your readers to do. You want them to get a treat from you. One of the examples is one of the smart ways to train a puppy to sit on command is you give them a treat. And you pat them on the head every time they do what you want. So enough treats and enough pats on the head, and they start to think that sitting on command is a very good idea. They like you. The puppy likes you, trusts you, and he sits when you say sit because it's in his best interest to do that. Your content needs to be the same way. High quality content is going to train your readers and listeners to keep opening your email, newsletter, watch your videos. Just like I do with Andrea Mowry. I'm looking for her email. I'm interested in what she's got. I might not read every single thing, but anything in there that solves a problem or helps me, I look for, and I assume that it's going to. So it's a treat for me to see it. It's a treat for me to see her video on Friday afternoon, and it's a treat for me to get her newsletter. So let's look at this lesson. That means that every piece of content you write has to either solve a problem your audience cares about or entertain them, and preferably both. Everything they receive should make them feel good about you. And every piece of content should be a treat that your audience looks forward to reading and consuming. And when you do that consistently, your content becomes very appealing. It's a kind of habit for the readers. As I said with my example of Andrew Mowry, it isn't always that I go through and find information. There might be a whole newsletter that I just go, oh, I don't need another shawl, or I don't really want to do that sweater. And yet I'm still reading it, and I'm still intrigued, and I'm still doing it every week. So what you want them to do is when they see your name in their inbox or in their social media, they know there's something they like on the other side, and they're going to click through. And so many of content people get this wrong. They almost train their readers to look away because they're producing content that doesn't benefit the reader. It's full of a lot of fluff, or it's overselling, which will also turn away the reader. So I want you to really think about this as positioning yourself for success. If you want to find more customers, you need to be someone worth doing business with. And it's about authority, but it's not about being the person who just has a hard sell. And some audiences work better with content marketing than others, by the way. Also, some read more, some don't. You'll know your own audience. So you want to be particularly very in tune with your audience and know what they like, what they want, and where they're going. Well, I appreciate you listening to me today. If you want more information or you have a question, you can go to my website at onpointthinking.com. You can go to the content page. Just go through there, send me your question. I get those questions, I answer them, and I look forward to hearing from you. And if you have any other ideas you want for a podcast, let me know. I'm happy to address that and look at it. Thank you so much, and have a really great day. Thank you for listening, and I invite you to join me next week as we talk more about specific actions you can take to reach your own business goals. You can find my library of other inspiring podcasts like this one at onpointthinking.com. Again, thank you for listening. This is Jacqueline Holstead at On Point Conversations.